Hey guys, sorry I haven't been very consistent with uploading. Honestly, I almost didn't film this video today. I don't know, I've just been feeling so lazy lately.
Sorry, what did you just say?
That I'm feeling lazy today?
Why would you say that?
I don't know, I mean, I've been on the couch all day, I slept in, I haven't really done anything productive.
Isn't today like your first day off for a week?
Yeah, and?
And didn't you tell me you've been sleeping really poorly the past couple nights?
Okay, but
And do you not deal with a mental illness with symptoms of fatigue and lack of focus?
that's no excuse.
Okay, so all that aside, you're saying that you don't deserve a day to rest and recharge, that if you don't do something productive, you're lazy?
Oh. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
I am.
So you're saying I'm allowed to just relax and recharge without feeling guilty about it?
Absolutely.
Well, in that case, do you want to watch all the
Twilight movie extended editions with commentary from cast and crew? Way ahead of you.
Oh, hell yeah. Hello, it's Chess. So I am feeling super exhausted this week, which I figured would be a perfect week to bring up this subject. So this might be kind of a long one because I realized while writing this that I have a lot of passionate thoughts on the subject, so just bear with me. So a couple weeks ago, I mentioned how I wanted to make a video on how laziness doesn't exist, and I figure now's kind of the perfect time with the, continuation of a global pandemic, mental illness being at an all-time high, that kind of stuff. Laziness is often used in a joking manner to explain why we always eat out, procrastinate, skip the gym, but it's also used in a more harmful way, like when people blame homelessness or unemployment on laziness. Particularly in America, this land of opportunity, we use laziness as this intense shaming factor. See how random white man became a billionaire from absolutely nothing? Well, you have every opportunity to do the same, and if you don't, well, I guess you're just lazy. I made a video a while back about how meritocracy is a total myth and the idea that if you're not successful, you just need to work harder is total bunk. I highly recommend you watch that video as well because it'll give you a better idea of how I feel on this subject in general. What we deem as laziness is really more to do with situational factors we might not see or unmet needs. In my research, I read the quote, "If a person's behavior doesn't make sense to you, it's probably because you're missing a part of the context." Let's take homelessness, for example. How many times have you seen someone on the street and think to yourself, why don't you just stop spending your money on cigarettes and alcohol and go get yourself a job? But have you ever spent even a single night on the street? Many people who encounter homelessness are battling addiction, escaping a traumatic home life, or facing a life-threatening mental or physical illness. So when you're out in the freezing cold night, maybe alcohol is the only thing that warms you, or cigarettes are all you can do to numb the hunger. And it's not like the mere dollars people spend on these could realistically go towards a housing payment. And honestly, a lot of people experiencing homelessness are still working full-time jobs, but with our absurdly low minimum wage, can't even begin to survive. We need to start approaching these situations with curiosity rather than judgment. As someone with job experience in social services, I've helped a lot of people apply for government assistance in housing, unemployment, food, or medical help. And if you think for a second that anyone on these programs is taking advantage of the system and wasting my taxes, then you've clearly never had to apply for them yourself. These programs require extensive paperwork and background checks, proof that you're actually poor, constant re-interviewing, and impossible wait times to reach anybody. Not to mention, if you're lacking what seems like simple things, stuff like a car, an internet connection, a home address to send mail to, a printer, it's really tough. If you're even a couple dollars over their maximum, then you're out of luck to participate. At this point, you're trying to interact and make time for social service workers, caseworkers, maybe parole officers, addiction specialists, therapists. If you're staying at a shelter, many of them require that you check out and then check back in to reserve a bed for the night. I'm sorry you're running late because you had a 2-hour commute each way by bus and walking, but we're out of beds for the night. You're just gonna have to stay on the street. Honestly, seeking government assistance while trying to apply for jobs, maybe taking care of kids, just trying to survive yourself, is a full-time job in and of itself. Being poor is a lot more work than you might think it is. We're also so quick to judge people for doing the same thing as us. I deserve a week-long tropical vacation because I make 6 figures sitting in an office all week. Meanwhile, the man doing 40 hours of physical labor each week, he doesn't really deserve a break because he doesn't have a real job. Maybe he should have gone to school or something. Or we go out partying and binge drinking every weekend, but meanwhile we judge the woman sleeping in the snow for sipping from a bottle of wine. It's this double standard where we judge the ethics of an action situationally and decide who deserves to partake and who doesn't. And let's consider mental illness. How many people have undiagnosed anxiety or depression, leading to the total inability to get up and do anything, or being frozen in panic? Not to mention the complete lack of mental health care in our country. Most people with the most severe mental illnesses are out on the streets or in prison, rather than getting the help they need. During severely mentally ill periods of my life, I've felt like the laziest person in the world. I can hardly eat, hygiene takes a back seat, and if I must get myself up to go to work, by the time I come home, I'm right back in bed. But I have a genuine chemical imbalance in my brain. I don't think that's laziness. And of course, this then comes down to how we stigmatize mental health. Illnesses like cancer or heart disease are never doubted that they're real, but somehow anxiety and addiction are all in your head. The trouble is, we use the term laziness to make ourselves feel better for the plight of others. Rather than face the crippling effects of mental illness or the harsh realities of trying to acquire government assistance, we would rather just look the other way and deem people as lazy. Our employee isn't battling OCD so severe that their obsessive thoughts are leaving them trapped in bed. They're not meeting deadlines because they're lazy. Or let's take procrastination. Even the most hardworking people battle it. But break it down, and what is procrastination really? Typically, it's total uncertainty of where to even begin. Or it's just simple fear of rejection, of failure, of insufficiency. Or just such complete overwhelm with a task that even thinking about it stresses you out to the point where you just have to run the other way. Another thing I see that really bothers me is when people judge inclusive product design as lazy. Of course, we as humans are always engineering ways to make our lives simpler. Dishwashers, cars, telephones. But a lot of products were made to create accessibility for disabilities. Velcro, shoehorns, modified cooking tools. But instead of being excited about inclusivity, people decide to make fun of these products and deem them for lazy people. Maybe next time we start to judge a product, we keep in mind that not every product was created with our demographic in mind. There's also this narrative of laziness among disabled folks. Many people can't work and so rely on disability or unemployment checks, so we shame them for freeloading. And people with invisible disabilities are especially shamed. Because there's no external appearance of an illness, people often don't believe that they need accommodations or that they even have a disability in the first place, so they're just deemed as lazy. We've also created this society where we no longer accept rest. We have it so ingrained in our heads that if we're not doing something productive, then we're wasting our time, even for things like hobbies. We've completely forgotten how to take care of ourselves through rest and relaxation. But taking intentional downtime is not lazy. It's active work to keep yourself healthy and sane. So next time we immediately want to call ourselves or someone else lazy, maybe we break it down to see why we're feeling that way. Are we sad? Are we trying to meet the expectations of someone else? Or maybe is it just our brain telling us that we badly need some rest? Obviously, I have plenty to say on the subject because I am so sick of societal shaming and stigma for behaviors that we have no idea the history of. I'm passionate in the belief that we should all work to eliminate the word lazy from our vocabulary altogether. Doing so eliminates the inherent shame around the word and gives us permission not to be active all the time. It forces us to explore deeper than what we're seeing on the surface and allows for us to practice some empathy. We're no longer defined by this false description, but are able to take back our power of our emotions by labeling and processing through them. Next time we start to label ourselves or someone else as lazy, take a step back to look at the bigger picture, and soon you'll be creating solutions rather than perpetuating shame. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and engage with your community, and I will see you when I see you.